watching TV the other day and the Hunger Games came on. Now, as I was watching characters die one by one, it got me thinking, what if there was a Hunger Games but for instruments? So I went online, found this really cool website that simulates the Hunger Games. You put in your favorite character or your friends or instruments, and it gives you a play-by-play story of what would happen. So, welcome everyone to the 75th annual Hunger Games for Instruments. Let's get started with the representatives from each district. Representing the Luxury District 1, we have the grand piano and the harp. Both of these instruments just scream luxury because A, they're expensive, and they're just so pretty. And really hard to play. In District 2, we have the drum kit and the trumpet. Now, District 2 is known for being more of the military district, so that's why the trumpet, aka bugle calls and taps, and the drum kits, drumming into battle, drumming into war, were chosen as their representatives. In the technology district of number 3, we have a synthesizer, which just makes sense, and the electric guitar because it's electric. For District 4, or better known as the fishing district, we have the steel drums, which kind of remind me of Cuba and the Caribbean and a lot of those coastal places where there's a lot of fishing. And number 2, we have the acoustic guitar, which is kind of on the opposite end because the coastal areas like Caribbean, the beaches and stuff like that, there's fishing there, but there's also fishing in places like ponds and lakes and rivers where a lot of the country music comes from and a lot of acoustic guitar is played. For the power district of number 5, we have the French horn and the triangle. The French horn is kind of an obvious choice. When you hear the French horn, you kind of think of those heroic leaps and notes and feel. And it takes a lot of power to control your lips and breath to hit those right partials. Our other instrument representing the triangle is probably really confusing for most of you. Why would the triangle represent power? The triangle is an instrument known for its power. Okay? They have their few notes in the band, but without it, the song would just be you wouldn't notice that was there, but you would feel something is missing. The person who plays the triangle holds the power of 1,000 triangle players before them. And that one little just sets the music over the top and is so important, it's so vital. And that's why I think the triangle belongs in the power district. Representing District 6, we have the saxophone and the clarinet. Now the saxophone and clarinet are known for their agility, versatility, and their fluidity, making them a perfect choice for the transportation district. Representing the lumber district of number 7 is the cello and the bass. Now, the reasoning for this is because they're both made of wood. That's it. I don't really have a good reasoning for making them the lumber district, except for they're made of wood and they look like logs. So moving on! Now, District 8 is in charge of textiles, so blankets and clothes and just anything really made of cloth. Now for those cloths, you have a lot of different threads that weave together to make a beautiful blanket or beautiful tapestry, just like the violin and the viola do. The violin and the viola blend together so seamlessly that it creates a beautiful masterpiece and really cool textures in music, and that's why I put them in District 8. Representing District 9 is grain. Now grain is a really small thing, but has a huge impact. It is in almost everything we eat. So I had to choose something that was also small but super impactful. So representing District 9 is the flute and the oboe. The flute and the oboe may not have the melody all the time, but just like grain, their small little runs and little blurbs really help to take their sound in the orchestras and bands over the top. District 10 is in charge of the livestock. When I think of livestock, I start to think of farmers and bluegrass music, so the instruments representing them will be the harmonica, which every rancher and everyone on a farm should know how to play, and the mandolin. You may not know about the mandolin too much, but if you've ever heard any bluegrass music, you've probably heard it. And because it's so instrumental in bluegrass music, I think it fits perfectly for the livestock district. In District 11, really similar to the livestock district, we have the agricultural district. So thinking on kind of those same vibes, we have the banjo, which is basically, again, in most country songs, in most bluegrass music, which all revolve around agriculture and the lives of people who work on the farm. We also have the accordion. The accordion might sound like a little weird and a little far off, but It is, again, like the mandolin, kind of one of those lesser common instruments, but sounds really cool and really unique, and I think it fits perfectly for the vibes of the agricultural district. Our last district is District 12, our coal mining district. The two big, powerful main instruments of the brass world, the tuba and the trombone. Both huge, hardworking, low instruments, all can represent the hard working and the effort and the time that it takes to mine coal. So I think that's why they fit perfectly.
Now on to day 1 of the Hunger Games.
Grand piano kills accordion with the mace. The trumpet and the violin fight for a bag, violin retreats, which makes sense that the top dog in the band and the top dog in the orchestra are fighting immediately. Acoustic guitar snaps the viola's neck. It's nice to see that even in the Hunger Games, the hate for the viola continues. The other instruments grab supplies or run away from the cornucopia. Continuing into day 1, steel drum snaps the grand piano's neck, which is so sad, because grand piano's my instrument. I kind of wanted to win. Tuba attacks trumpet, but the trumpet manages to get away. Drum kit sets off an explosion, killing both cello and the banjo. At the end of the day, 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Accordion, viola, grand piano, cello, and banjo. We start the day off with the French horns picking flowers. I don't know why that makes sense in my brain for this whole Hunger Games thing and people dying and the French horns being like, oh, a daisy, and picking it up. It just makes sense to me. Drum severely injures the steel drum, but puts her out of her misery. I guess there can only be one true drum. Clarinet falls into a pit and dies. I love you, clarinets, but you guys can be a little clumsy sometimes. I've seen it on the band field. Harmonica is unable to convince bass not to kill her. So there goes harmonica. Hot tea though. Triangle convinces trombone to snuggle. I don't know what's happening there. Harp sets off an explosion, killing the trumpet, synthesizer, and the electric guitar, which I'm really sad. I thought trumpet was gonna make it farther. I really did. I thought maybe their ego would just carry them through and kind of give them like a shield where they just couldn't be attacked. But the higher the ego, the bigger the fall. Saxophone attempts to climb a tree and falls to their death. We are now to day 4, which is the feast. If you've never seen the Hunger Games, the feast is when they restock the middle cornucopia area with supplies, food, and all sorts of things. So a lot of the players will actually run back to the middle and a lot more battling and deaths happen. It kind of speeds up the game. Tuba and drum get into a fight, which kind of makes sense because they kind of sit close to each other in the band, but oboe triumphantly kills them both. That's what happens when you're in the back and you don't pay attention during band. You're not going to pay attention in the Hunger Games either, and someone's going to come kill you. Acoustic guitar, mandolin, and the French horn decide not to go to the feast, so they're going to stay out in the woods area. Trombone bashes violin's head in with a mace. It got violent really quickly. French horn continues to collect fruit from a tree. Again, French horn, what are you doing? Come on. Another thing I forgot to mention about the feast, or around the time of the feast, the game makers will also enter in some sort of challenge or mysterious thing that kills a lot more people. So one year they did like a wave, like a tsunami type thing. In one of the Hunger Games they let off like giant dogs. In this Hunger Games it was a cloud of poisonous smoke. Acoustic guitar slowly pushes mandolin into the cloud of smoke until she can't resist it anymore. Well, here goes the mandolin. Oboe, trombone, and French horn survive the cloud of poisonous smoke. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. We have the tuba, the drum, the violin, and the mandolin. It's on to day 5. Oboe accidentally sets off a landmine while trying to arm it. Listen, oboe, I know you guys make your own reeds, but maybe don't try to make your own bombs. Trombone dies of dysentery. You made it this far, trombones, and of course, that's what gets you. French horn climbs a tree. Yeah, I don't know what French horn's doing, but somehow, some way, they've made it this far in the games.
The harp, triangle, bass, and flute all meet up to share some nightlock berries they found. Little do they know, those are poisonous and they all die.
French horn severely slices acoustic guitar with a sword. I guess at the end of the day, the French horn will do what it takes. Which means French horn is the winner of the Hunger Games. It's To be honest, I didn't think they had it in them. After picking flowers and picking fruit and climbing a tree, I just really didn't think they were gonna win. Let me know who you thought was gonna win in the comments, and if you agree or disagree with the French horn winning the Hunger Games. We'll see you guys next time.